Wonderful. Thank you everyone for joining today. If you are looking for where the money is, you're in the right place. We are going to be touching on grants and loans and different types of funding that are available. Let me share my screen. Oh, Tiana, can you give me share screen options? And while we're waiting, if you can put into the chat the name of your business or organization, and just if it's a for-profit or a nonprofit, that helps to, so that we can identify what grants you might need. All right. So cameras on, let me start slideshow. And again, welcome. My name is Ryan Knight, representing for Empowered4X and the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. And today we are going to be talking about, as we do each and every other Wednesday, funding and grant opportunities for your businesses or your organization. A little bit about myself as your facilitator. I do consider myself a serial social entrepreneur. I've started a few social enterprises, namely Detailing Nights, but also Service Kingdom, which is a consultancy firm that helps social enterprises really fine-tune their operations. I'm working with Executives Power Up to make sure that businesses get the right C-level type support in their companies to help it grow. And the secret project is the Black Panthers Cage, although I keep talking and hinting at it, but we're definitely going to get that launched very soon. But also, I am the co-founder of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage they're in and then help them grow exponentially. And it's really with Empowered4X and ACBN, a way to support you as the entrepreneur or business leader. Empowered4X, we're here in the physical space. It's a co-working space here in Brampton, but we've also created a virtual online community. So if you are still using your home address as your business address, I encourage you to get our virtual office space here. It's only, I think it's $12.99 per month, and you're $12.99 per month, and you're able to get a business address that you can use for your company. But of course, if you want to come in person, we have desks that you can use, private offices, and an event space. So if you want to do workshops or hold a different type of event, we do have that space here for you. And just before we go on, I always love to shout out our sponsors and partners, like such as Alterna Savings, that we've been able to work with and build loan programs through. Edge, which is through Sheridan College, the Entrepreneurship Discovery and Growth Engine. Dream Legacy Foundation, that started the Black Innovation Fellowship. So they work with entrepreneurs from the Black community that are in the tech space, and that's in partnership with Ryerson University. Calabash, that is a cooperative of expert service providers in our community. So if you're looking for consultants and people to help fine tune your business or your nonprofit, definitely check out Calabash for their roster of talent. SETC, which is the social economy through social inclusion, really keeping us tapped into the world of social finance, how the government is leveraging social finance to support the community on a national scale, and really understanding getting that information to the community is really important. So SETC has built a great bridge for that. ZSC, which helped with our business advisory component of ACBN. The OFC, which is One Full Circle. I consider them ACBN Quebec. They are, well, actually, we're probably OFC Ontario because they're bigger than us. So they're working with a network of over 11,000 entrepreneurs, not just in Quebec, but worldwide. And a big shout out to the Toronto Community Benefits Network that has been supporting us from day one. Rosemary Powell's, I'm a big fan of hers, and she's been a great supporter. So always love to give her a shout out. And a little bit about ACBN. So we started 2017, which is unreal that it's about to be 5 years since we saw a gap in the market. As an entrepreneur, when we were ready, I was ready to grow and franchise. There weren't a lot of business-focused, Black business-focused organizations that I could go to that would help with scaling. So we brought 6 entrepreneurs together. We said, could we create this entity, again, that sits down with an entrepreneur, figures out what stage they're in, and then helps to create a blueprint to grow that company. And so thus ACBN was born. Over the last 5 years, we've been able to interact with over 4,000 Black entrepreneurs. Our research is showing that about 71% of them are female entrepreneurs. And in the database, about 91% are either the business founder or the CEO. But what I'm most proud of is our ability to partner with other organizations. Right now, we partner with over 40 Black-focused business organizations. That's been able to extend our reach to over 20,000 Black entrepreneurs across Canada. And of course, building relationships in Africa and also the Caribbean, we've been able to expand our reach to way over 20,000 now. And a few of the pillars that we've built ACBN on, of course, entrepreneurship. I do believe that everybody has the ability to become an entrepreneur, even, especially if you're young and still in school. It's a great time to start a business, even if it's just in the summer. Hey, if things don't go well, you still have a place to live. And also, if you're working somewhere full-time already, having a side business where it allows you to bring in additional income into the household and gives you access to additional tax benefits. But even if you're going to work somewhere, working as an entrepreneur where you're at a full-time job, but you do have the perspective of an entrepreneur, so you understand how to really amplify the work that you do in the company. And I do see entrepreneurship as the great equalizer. Because there's low barrier to entry, it allows for economic inclusion, and there's no real cap or there's no limit to the potential that you can grow your business. Convening, it's important to be able to talk with each other and understand what we're doing. Of course, before we were doing our in-person events, we slowly started to get back to in-person. Even tomorrow, we're doing a lunch and learn in Hamilton with one of our partners, the Afro-Canadian Caribbean Association. Why do I always mix that up? So shout out to Evelyn. We're going to be supporting the entrepreneurs in the Hamilton region, but in person. And that's where, it's great to be able to meet online, but being able to break bread and really converse in person, there's no substitute for that. But why we're all here is one of our stronger pillars, the access to funding. And we've been able to internally create our own microloan program. So if you're looking for funding between 500 to 25,000, we actually are able to do the intake, assess applications, and approve them with our partner, Alterna Savings. But I did want to give a more of a overview of the different types of funding that's available. And these are funds that we've been successful with, and that ranges from pitch competitions. They can be city grants, such as the City of Brampton, and we got one from two from the City of Brampton, actually, provincial grants that we've gotten from Ontario Trillium Foundation and the Youth Opportunities Fund, and also federal grants, where the Supporting Black Communities Initiative and also the Black Ecosystem Fund, which was part of the bigger Black entrepreneurship program that the federal government created. And so we've gone from as low as $500 all the way up to 1.3 million, and even in their corporate funding. So from TD and Alterna, there's so many different options for obtaining funding. And that's where I get the most joy, from helping businesses and nonprofits get funding for themselves. So one story that we typically touch on is Rescue Youth International, which is a nonprofit that works with youth in the education and justice system, doing great work. And shout out to Abigail. But we were able to work alongside them to identify a grant, which was the Investment Readiness Program, which allowed them to create a social enterprise, which was a food truck that now operates and generates profits that then funds the nonprofit. So it reduces the need for them to go out and get donations, go out and try and get additional grants. Having their own income generating activity, which is the food truck as a social enterprise, is going to help alleviate some of that stress with fundraising on the nonprofit side. So some sessions, we do go deeper into the grant writing blueprint. If you did want a step-by-step guide, we have the Grant Hunter University, where we have the videos that explain each section of the blueprint and how to answer those questions. And I talk about the blueprint because when we first got the Youth Opportunities Fund, we had brought on a grant writer, and them helping us through writing that grant allowed us to now use that element as a blueprint for any of the grants that we've been going for in the future. So really, when you get your blueprint created, because a lot of the grants that you're going to see ask the same, I would say 80% of questions. So if you already have that documented and organized, when you see another grant that you qualify for, you're already 80% done. It's now just customizing it and tailoring it to what the funder is looking for, but you're not starting from scratch. And that's where I see a lot of potential grantees, they just get stuck because they're starting a grant application from scratch. And of course, every time you have to do that, it just takes a lot of brain power. So we can skip that. And for those that have not seen the Federal Business Benefits Finder, that is it's a, I'll say like a mad gab, you can call it, where it just asks you different questions within a sentence and you fill in the blanks. And then the government created a platform that it shows you all the different supports that the federal government has. So it's a great tool. And when you get this slide deck, definitely check out the Business Benefits Finder, because it's a quick way to see what grants and what resources, and even sometimes what other like wage subsidies are available. And now you can always just apply for it right through that site or get informed about it. So today we wanted to touch on a few of the available grants. So one that is coming due May 31st is the Purolator grant. And I think I have it queued up already. So if you haven't seen the Purolator grant, you'll see it's look at this, $20,000 cash. You get an additional $5,000 to pay it forward and $5,000 in shipping credits. So you get one of 4 grant prizes. So I believe that means that there's 4 prizes of this combination. And if you nominate somebody, you also get a chance to win $500. Okay. So this is where now, so like it says, deadline is May 31st. It's still May, right? Yes. So actually, this might be a good grant to do a working group around. So after we go through this, I'm going to dig deeper in and actually apply and see how difficult it is. And we can probably put a working group around it. But let me put this link into the chat just so that you have it. And you'll see, so you can nominate your own business, or an employee can nominate a business. Let's see, actually, let's see what this looks like in here. All right, so there's one of 4, 20,000, 5,000 to pay for it. I wonder what that means. Do you get to pick another company to give $5,000 to? That would be pretty interesting. So it does say how you spend the money is up to you. You may want to invest in new technology, go e-commerce, or hire an employee. Very cool. So the application is looking like contact info, location, put categories, tell us about your business and tell us about yourself. Is this 75 words? Okay, that's pretty short. So 75 words each. And then they're looking at diversity. How does your business contribute to the community? Why should you get a grant? And then boom, apply. So this is pretty straightforward. I'm sure it's going to be quite popular. So if you're interested in this one, actually, let's check the calendar, because we should do a session about this. Oh, it's due the 31st, so maybe Friday. Yeah, we'll find some time on Friday, 1 o'clock. What is happening there? I don't have to be at that one. All right. So if you mark your calendar for Friday, keep that open, either Friday or Monday. Actually, Monday is looking a lot more open. So it might be Monday that we do this working group. Purolator. Okay, so now back to the other grants. So the Black Opportunity Fund, they have their grant that's in partnership with CIBC. So you'll see the CIBC section of it is actually a loan program, but if you're not quite prepared for the loan, which allows you to get up to $250,000, the Black Opportunity Fund, they partnered with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce to be able to get you up to $2,000 as a grant and business support programs. So you'll see there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of programs that you can plug into, ranging from business plan support, financial literacy support, personal credit improvement, business acceleration done through here with Empowered4X, and also a food incubator program. And then as you complete program milestones, you're able to get a non-repayable funding, which is a grant. So for more details, oh, this is probably a better link, because before, in order to enroll, if you click on, let me show you. So if you click on this link here, it takes you to CIBC's portal, which is kind of going through the process of applying for the loan. But if you're applying for the loan and you put in your contact info, and then let's say you don't have your financial statements or you don't have your business plan ready, you would get a call from their advisor, and then they would point you towards the grant program. So now they do have a way that you can just apply for the grant program directly. So if you go to this page, and I'll put this link in the chat as well. So when you're on this page, and then for more details, you can just click here directly to go to the Elevate Black Business section. And then when you enroll here, so all those different programs that we're talking about, you can apply for it right here. So you can see here, the financial literacy, the AVRO, the business plan, the mastermind. They should probably put the link at the bottom, just in case you scroll down, but click enroll now. So they have their intake form. It doesn't look too intense. Oh, there is 7 pages, never mind. Might be a little bit intense. So take some time and apply for this one. And that way, so you don't have to go through the loan process. You can just go directly into the grant program. So definitely, actually, I'll put the registration right in the chat as well. That way, you can just go directly in if you're interested in applying for that. All right. So one piece that I typically touch on is summer company. So if you know somebody under 30 that's still doing a bit of schooling, definitely check out summer company. The applications, I'm not sure if they're still open because literally June is summer. So if you connect with your local business, like a small business enterprise center. So Brampton, we have the Brampton Entrepreneur Center. Toronto has their enterprise center. The summer company applications are done through them, and you're able to get $3,000 in the summer to run a business in between school. So if you know anybody, especially high school or young adults that have an idea for a business and could use an extra $3,000 to help get it off the ground, definitely check out Summer Company. And the other great program that we've seen is the BBPA BAIDS program. So BAIDS stands for the Business Advisory Implementation Development Services. But you'll see here, what they allow you to do is if you need certain business services, you're able to get paired with a service provider, and then the service provider invoices the BBPA. So you don't have to come out of pocket for any of these costs. So if you're looking for help with your accounting or bookkeeping, possibly helping with your business plan, helping with doing your cash flow projections, or it could be a marketing strategy and also marketing execution. I've seen people get support with their website and also building technology. And it did used to have grant writing in here. I don't see it now. So actually, I think if we go into the actual application, it's supposed to say it where you can select services. So let's see if it's still there. Oh, that's it. Requested services. Oh, I think they have reduced the amount of services that you can pick. So accounting and bookkeeping, taxation, business planning, registration, help with FACE, help with legal, help with operations, HR, and general advisory. Okay, so they did take away grant writing support. Keep that in mind, but still there's some, I don't even see marketing on here anymore. Am I missing that? Where's marketing? I don't see marketing either. So based on what you can now choose, yeah, requested services, you can only select one. These are the current options that you can get support with. So they would connect you with a business provider, a service provider, and the service provider invoices the BBPA, so you don't have to come out of pocket. So I always enjoy that grant. But one that I've been talking about a lot recently is Digital Main Street. They have two components to their grant. So, and please don't procrastinate if you are thinking either of these might be a fit. So the Canada Digital Adoption Program, did I spell that wrong? Yes, I did, because so the Canada Digital Adoption Program allows you to get $2,400 to help with the cost of shifting to e-commerce and also help you with your digital marketing and online marketing. So when you do click the sign up, it's pretty much still in initial, what do you call it, wait list mode. It was supposed to launch this month. So anybody that had signed up and got on their newsletter, there was a message that went out to say, hey, in May of 2022, the program's going to launch. So definitely sign up for it so that when it does kick in, you're going to be in the queue. I know they have about 90,000 grants to give out of the 2,400. And so what happens is you're also able to use that money to bring on, let's say, a marketing person or a marketing agency to help you with your online marketing. So the 2,400, I would definitely tap into this one. I can put this link in the chat as well. And it's really straightforward. So if you take some time and just click over and fill this out. And while you're doing that, I'll bring up the other grant program that Digital Main Street also has, which is RAISE. So RAISE stands for the Racialized and Indigenous Support for Entrepreneurs. Basically, it's a $10,000 grant you can get to support. They call it a kind of business transformation, but really you're making a plan to improve how you sell yourself online and sell your business. So you'll see there's two steps. So first, you do need an account at Digital Main Street. If you already have an account and you go to this page, so I'll log in. All right, and you'll see you can do a mini assessment to see kind of how your online marketing is. But when you go back to the RAISE page, so when you're already logged in, you would continue to the sign up process. So I just wanted to quickly the eligibility. So you do have to be registered in Ontario. So the Canada Digital Adoption Program is open to all of Canada. The RAISE, the Racialized and Indigenous Support for Entrepreneurs, which is the $10,000 grant, is only for Ontario registered businesses. And so it says you need employees between 1 to 10 employees or equivalent, which would include the business owner. So if you're a solopreneur, you do still qualify, even if you're not on payroll, and you can't have more than 25 employees if you're in the hospitality sector. It cannot be a franchise. You can't be a wholesaler or manufacturer, and it's not for nonprofits or charitable organizations. And so you'll see part 2 after you sign up. So this sign up form is the standard one for Digital Main Street, but once you hit submit, you're going to get an email notification from an organization called Parkdale Center. So Parkdale Center, they're the ones that are running the cohort for the entrepreneurs. And you'll notice the last times I was talking about this, the cohort started in April, May, and then June. So now I believe they're booking for July, August, and possibly September. So if you waited, you might have missed the chance to be in like the early ones, and now you have to wait for fall. So if you're interested in this $10,000 grant, definitely try and get that done today, because there's 2 applications, one with Digital Main Street, and then you're gonna get an email from Parkdale. They have their own intake form. And we actually did do a video walkthrough of both of those. So if you're interested and want the walkthrough, just send me an email. I'll put my email into the chat. And you can also email Empowered Forex directly to get it. Canada.com. So yes, if you're interested in this Digital Main Street grant, definitely do email us to get the walkthrough, because you might get stuck since there's kind of 2 intake processes. Well, 1 process, but 2 big steps. Like there's 2 actual forms that you have to fill out. The one for Digital Main Street is a bit more like contact info. The one for Parkdale, you have to go deeper into like kind of why you're applying, more about your business and what you're going to use the funds for. So the walkthrough gives you a bit of a guide for that. All right. And so one grant that I've been keeping my eye on is the Investment Readiness Program. They had opened up one stream, which was for charities. So that one was it was done through the Canadian Women's Foundation. So they're one of the intermediaries. Another intermediary is also the Community Foundations of Canada. So that one is more designed towards for-profit companies. The Canada Women's Foundation was only for charities. So with the Community Foundations of Canada, you're able to get between $10,000 up to $100,000. And let's see. Oh, so you'll see these are all the different organizations that were intermediaries. It does say that they're still closed. So the Community Foundation should open shortly. Even this one is showing closed. So this one was open, but I guess it closed now. And you'll see it can be a for-profit social enterprise or a social enterprise that's done through a nonprofit, and you're able to get between 10,000 to 100,000. And so the previous rounds that they had, we did see some entrepreneurs from our community get funded. So I was talking about the example with Rescue Youth International. So the money is there, just when it does open, we're gonna have more sessions to kind of walk through the application, see what the questions are, see what questions you have and how best we can answer them, really to help as best we can to get your application as strong as it can be. And with this application, it's actually step 1 to the bigger pool of money. So the federal government, they created the Social Finance Fund, which was an $800 million pool of money in order to support social enterprises. But they realized that not a lot of the nonprofits that run social enterprises or even the for-profit social enterprises were ready for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of investment. So they carved out $50 million in order to support investment readiness for those social enterprises. So really, they want to get you ready so that you're able to tap into the bigger pool of money and take on bigger investment. So that way it'll amplify the impact, the positive impact that you're doing in the community. So when you're approaching this grant, the investment readiness program, remember that it plugs into a bigger opportunity for funding. So, and we go through this when we're doing our workshops, because you want to word it that you understand it's like step one to obtaining additional funding. It's not just a $10,000 grant and then you're not really going to grow the social enterprise with it. So something to keep in mind. All right. And oh, I didn't hyperlink this one, but the Toronto Enterprise Fund, this one has, I believe they do at least 2 to 3 cohorts per year. So let me plug into this. Loading. Jeez, am I overloading my computer here? Let's see. All right, so when we go to grants. All right, so they have the Employment Social Enterprise Idea Accelerator, and then they have the startup grants, which includes the Catalyzing Grant, which allows you to get up to $10,000 to complete your feasibility study and your business plan. And then the startup, I think it's the Grow Grant, which allows you to get up to $100,000 over 3 years in order to really launch the idea and continue to grow the social enterprise. So going through their idea accelerator is a good idea if you're new to the term like employment social enterprise, which really is a company that is employing individuals from a more disadvantaged segment of the population. You're creating a company that has employment opportunities for them. You're considered an employment social enterprise. So that's where they focus a lot of their funding. So if that term's new to you, I would definitely, here, I'll check, I'll put this link in the grant as well. I'll put this link in the chat. All right, and I did see a question around if your business is in the US, we do, like these grants that we're talking about specifically are Canadian focused, but I did put my email in the chat because we do research in the US as well. So please send me an email and we can send you a list of grants that are more focused on the US. Right. And so one last piece that I'll touch on with around the grants, this Ontario grant portal typically at any given time has about 25 to 30 grants available. One thing is their portal is very, it's not user friendly. So it will take a bit of patience and take some time to kind of go through each of the grants to see which ones you do qualify for. But if there's something that matches what you do, and so this is typically for nonprofit companies, but there are some grants for profit. But even if you're for profit, you should look to find things that align with what you do for your business. And then you can partner with organizations that are nonprofits, but also focus on those areas for the business. So that way you can collaborate and now go after these grants together. So collaboration is a big piece of what we do to get grants. And I know it would work for you. It just takes some time to find who's aligned with what you do, make that introduction, build up a bit of a relationship, and then you're able to go for these bigger grants. But I like to show this portal just because a lot of times we're not able to find grants that we're looking for. The grants are definitely there. It just takes some time to dig in. And I'm sure you're going to be able to find something that you qualify for. All right. So just before we kind of wrap up and open it up for questions, we'd like to touch on the different loans that are also available. I typically say grants are, one, not guaranteed, and two, the time frame for grants is typically 3 to 6 months. So if you're looking for funding and you actually need that injection of capital to really amplify what you're doing, I would say in the short term, looking at some of the loan programs would be a good idea. And if you create the right strategy and the right plan around the capital that you're going to get into your company, you can really use a loan to boost up sales, boost up the impact that you're doing, and then have those increased sales pay back the loan. So I know not always we're looking for loans, but I am an advocate for getting a larger injection of capital as a loan from a financial institution instead of digging into your savings or trying to save piece by piece. It takes a long time typically to save profits when you need $10,000 or $50,000 of equipment or supplies that would really boost your business. So that's kind of my spiel for loans. I've used them to grow my business. But again, don't take loans if you're only using them to kind of pay off previous debt, because you're just digging yourself into a bigger hole. You really want to be able to take that capital, inject it into something that the return on investment is more than the loan payment and really grows your company. So as I mentioned, ACBN, we do have our own microloan program. We can service loans between 500 to 25,000. Access Community Capital Fund, they've actually increased their loan size to 10,000. Rise Asset Development, they have a loan program up to 10,000. And the FACE Coalition, their loans go from 10,000 up to 250,000. And we're able to work with them if they get clients that need less than 10,000. We typically are able to put them through our loan program. You may have heard of Futurepreneur. They have a Black focused loan program up to 60,000. Alterna and BDC partnered up to create a matching program. So Alterna would do 25,000. Actually, since theirs is not up to 50,000, that needs to come out of there and go up here. And the other three main banks that have Black entrepreneurship loan program is RBC, CIBC, and the Bank of Montreal. And when you see these specific Black focused loan programs, you do want to use them as stepping stones into the general capital programs. So yes, there's a path specifically for Black entrepreneurs. We need to use that in order to really fine tune what we're doing. And then that'll open you up to the bigger pool of money where banks are lending billions of dollars a year. That money is also available to you. It's just if you're not ready for it yet, you can use one of these programs to, again, get that initial injection of capital. So it could be an ACBN microloan, which then plugs into the FACE Coalition, which then plugs into an RBC bigger loan, and then plugs into whatever amount of money that you need to really take your business to the next level. Use these programs to really fine tune your business operations and allow yourself to really amplify what you're doing. And as I close out, we do want to let you know a lot of this information, if it just gets too overwhelming, Empowered Forex is here to be able to support you on this journey, whether it's going through our Grant Hunter University program to do your blueprint, your grant blueprint, or just taking the whole journey of researching, writing, and applying and submitting and following up. That can be all taken off your shoulders as our project teams would work alongside you. But really, we exist to see you win, even if as an entrepreneur or as an executive director with your organization. And I am super excited to be able to work with you in any capacity. The grants is one component of business operations. We're here to support you with all components so that whatever support you need, we can either internally help you with it or plug you into the right support that'll help get it done. So my contact info is here. I do want to hear if there's any questions, feel free. The floor is open. But again, I'm looking forward to working with everybody that needs the support. So thank you for taking the time. Actually, let me put this contact info into the chat before I stop sharing. Oh, where's my chat? Oh, and somebody was saying the link is not working. Which link were you clicking on, Stacy? Oh, are you able to unmute? And I do see a raised hand. Donji, go ahead.
Hey Ryan, how you doing?
Very good. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. I applied for the 10K grant with the Digital Main Street.
Okay.
So I got an email from the Parkdale Innovation Center, but I slept on it. Like I just totally slipped my mind to fill it out. So I wanted to contact them to see if I'm still in the queue or what's going on. What do you think is the best way to reach them? Because I couldn't find a phone number and I didn't necessarily want to email them.
Yeah, I would send the initial email. I don't think I have a number for them either, but the Parkdale Center, I know it comes up when you go onto Google Maps. And even in the email, I think it takes you to their website.
Pardon me?
Like in the email that they send you, it should take you to their websites.
Yeah, where I cannot find a phone number. I just wanted to see if you actually had one.
Yeah, that's interesting. They don't have the phone number. Even online, it's like you can chat with them. They
Right.
don't want anybody calling. That's crazy. Yeah, it might actually be better just to go there. Like, listen, I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So
Like
I'll start with the email and then yeah, I would drop in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
My pleasure.
May I ask one more question?
Yeah, feel free.
Do you know, once you receive that email from them, like it says that I've completed the registration and the intake application with Parkdale. It says that they've processed it, but I'm getting that I'm on the current wait list for possible participation in July.
Okay.
So
that's where, did you already go to their info session?
No, and I don't know where to find that information.
Yeah, so on their websites, actually, let me see if I can pull it up. I'm not share my screen as I search for this thing. So when you click on programs, at the bottom, okay, see how it's saying join waitlist now? But oh, it's not showing it. They were doing info sessions.
I did see that, but I don't, as I said, I don't know where to find it now.
Yeah, so. It used to be right here. See where it says workshops and events?
Yeah.
It was in here. So they might not be doing info sessions anymore. But that should come back soon.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to contact them then.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I would definitely contact them. I'll keep an eye out to see when the next info sessions might be. But it's not on this site right now.
Thank you.
1688. I see you have your hand up.
Hi there. I'm not sure why I'm named 1688.
All right, no worries.
No affiliation with that number at all. My name is Mariama, and I'm the owner of a business in BC called Premium Events and Design. and there is a tourism grant out in BC that I'm looking to apply for. I have two questions around that specific grant. So the first question is, with it being a federal grant and with my business being incorporated for 2 years, with only, I guess you can say, one full-time employee, which is myself, but I'm not paying myself yet, and then a contract employee, and not really filing a tax return. So I did file a tax return, but they've both been null tax returns because during COVID, as an event planning business, we were running no events because of health
Right.
regulations,
Yes.
obviously. So I want to apply, but I'm not confident that I will have that business history that they're looking for. What do I do in my case? Because when I did apply for the Canada Summer Job Program,
Mhm.
I was only, I think, 3 months in as an incorporation, but I was successful with that grant. Yeah.
And that's where you really can't determine how much experience you need until you apply and make them tell you no. So look at the summer jobs one, you could have thought to yourself, oh, I'm too new, I probably won't get it, and you would have missed out. So with the tourism one, I would still apply unless it explicitly says somewhere in the criteria you need audited financials and 5 years of experience, something that okay, I don't have that. But if the criteria is just basically you have to be registered a certain way and you're able to execute what they're asking for, 100% you should apply. And sometimes there's an email there that you can ask questions. So I wouldn't ask the question, do you think I should apply? I would just ask them the question like, hey, I'm thinking to apply and this is what I was wanting to execute. Do you feel like it's a fit? But don't give them a reason to tell you not to apply.
Okay, great. And my second question is, with the money that you receive, if you are successful, you need to spend that by, I think it's March of 2023. So even if your project does happen after that date, you need to somehow spend all that money. And it's a large, large sum of money. So with grants that are positioned in that way, with your unique, I guess, situation and timelines, how do you do that? Like, and how do you present that in your budget?
Yeah, well, especially with writing grants, you have to fit it into what they're looking for. So if the project, let's say, is going to extend beyond the timeline that you are given, what you're presenting you pretty much can't, it's not flexible. It's like you have to be able to demonstrate the budget is going to be from X to X. And then once it's approved, now you have to figure out, okay, what's the best way to run this program while still making sure that you hit like the things that they're asking for. So don't stress about that now, because if you're thinking about a bigger project that'll go past 2023, that to me is out of scope. Understand like what can happen between that timeline that's realistic, and then put that in. So don't put in things that only can happen afterwards, because then it's going to cause you a lot of stress trying to fit it into a short timeline. Just work with what you have, and then after that you can leverage it to get additional funding to continue it going forward.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And Tim, I saw you put in here about the SBCCI grants. So I haven't heard if it's coming back. So they did have this grant for called Supporting Black Communities Initiative, and they had 2 rounds of it. In the budget, it did show that additional funding was going towards it. So it should be coming back. I just haven't heard any details on exactly when. But thank you for mentioning that one. All right. And yeah, we still have 5 minutes. If there's any other questions, feel free to unmute or raise your hand, or even put it in the chat. or just go to one of the links and start your application right now. Like Donji was saying, don't sleep on the digital main streets. It is filling up. And I think there's like July. If they told you July, that's good. I heard some people are saying fall, so definitely check out that one. All right, Althea.
Hi, Ryan. I came into the class a little bit late because I had another program, but I was wondering if you will be sending this to us so we can review everything.
Yes, the recording, and also the slides will be sent out.
Okay, thank you.
And also, I'll put into the chats, we do have a spreadsheet that we use. We try to keep it as up to date as possible. But for those asking, where can we go to see what grants are available? So they'll be in the slide deck. And so the links to each of the ones that I talked about are in there. And also the, what's it called? This spreadsheet that we created, we try to keep that up to date with grants and different funding options. So you can use that as something to check on a periodic basis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I don't see any additional questions. Happy to give you 5 minutes back to your day, or 4 minutes. But again, I really do appreciate everybody taking the time to come and learn more about this funding. Let's position ourselves in front of the flow of funding so that the money is out there. We just have to organize and know it's there and apply for it. So let's not miss the money just because we did not apply. And thank you again for attending. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right.